Hello, everybody. What's up? I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back, y'all. Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. Y'all know the drill. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Come on in. I put the goal up there for you guys, so come on in, get yourself a membership, gift them, whatever. It's free to hit the like button. Let's get this in the algorithm because I'm going to tell you today what's really going on in the Jack and Lilly disappearance case. Major update from RCMP and lots of other information that's been coming out that it's really hard to gather. That's why I kept this as a background today, guys, because this case, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing how many times Daniel Martell interjects himself into the case, how many times Malia doesn't do anything or say anything. It's crazy about the D-Rugs talk and the things that are just outright for us in plain sight. So we're going to get into that today. Bree, thank you so much for starting off the super chats with $10. Hello, Jay, mods, and crime crew. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Now, this case does seem like a brain buster, but here's the problem with this case. The problem number one is, well, it's in Canada and they try to keep a lot of things quiet. So today we're also going to talk about how social media and YouTube, all the us detectives, right? The YouTube detectives, well, it made it to RCMP News because they're not talking. People like us are filling in the blanks. And everybody that's filling in the blanks doesn't necessarily have integrity. So there's all kinds of videos flying out there that say, bodies found, Jack and Lilly case. And then you go click on it and it's some crazy person, something detective you never heard of. It's just clickbait. What's up, Rosie? And it doesn't have any substance to it. It's literally AI just gathering a bunch of information and spreading rumors. So there's 111 people in chat as you roll in 111. Say a prayer that Jack and Lilly are brought home at some point and can be laid to rest. I do not think that they are any longer with us. They're no longer alive. Law enforcement feels the same way. They've said it. I'm going to just kind of go back a little bit. We're going to go forward and then back just a tiny bit because I want to tell you some of the things that I got a hold of today in the affidavit. Now, the affidavit was there was a lot of redactions, but it was hard to get a hold of the affidavit. And there's a lot of things in it that are important. Mickey Sayer, thank you so much for the $4 super sticker. So, like I said, there's lots of things going on in this case. I appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel. Randy B, good to see you. Lady for Justice. I saw Deb in here earlier. I'm glad you can get in today. Thanks all the mods for being here. Curious Christine says, what's is this goal thing? Never seen it before. Well, it's a goal for the channel so that all episode long I don't have to remind you guys. You guys know the drill. All right, so we give away merchandise and Foxy boxes and memberships, and we put that up so we don't have to say it all the time. All right, Ashton Lee says, I've been following the deep dive every day. Well, Ashton, you might come on and be a creator. Be a creator and say, hey, Jay, let's collaborate. I'd probably say no just because I don't like collaborations anymore, but you never know. All right, I'm glad you guys are into this. There's a lot of junk swirling around. So I'm going to tell you what is factual. I'm just going to present the factual information and then a little bit of Deception Detective with the new Cadaver Dog interview that just came out, RCMP making statements. Just there's a lot, guys. There is a lot. So major RCMP updates. Where are Jack and Lilly? Lady for Justice, member for 10 months. Jay, love the channel. Lots of hard work. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, trigger warning. If you need that, if you need to take a break, walk away. All right, always. This is not super triggering today. There's not a lot of triggering. It's just a lot of factual information that we're discussing, and it may trigger you. So if you need to step aside, all right. And if you're not green, you should get yourself a membership because we do have a lot of giveaways, and you won't be included on those if you're not. So Daniel knows where he put them babies. That's what we're going to talk about. There's so many things that we need to talk about. You're welcome, Curious Christine. It says it rightfully so in your name, right? Curious Christine. All right. So listen, Amanda K, if you don't know much about this case, that's all good because I'm going to just tell you real quick. Let's just go over key points and then I'm just going to blast y'all with information. And don't make me give you a quiz at the end because if I quiz you, I don't know how good you're going to do. There's lots of information in today's episode. Shorty Pie, good to see you. I thought everyone forgot about this case. Nope, just hours ago, there was updates from RCMP. I always watch the case and I see all the junk. And when I see the junk, it just makes me want to dig in and get to the facts. So that's what we're going to do today. Listen quickly here. If you don't know anything about this case, I'll catch you up in 2.2 seconds. Lily Sullivan, 6, Jack Sullivan, 4, went missing from Canada, Nova Scotia, May 2nd, 2025, from Lansdowne Station in Nova Scotia, Canada. Their mother reported hearing them playing that morning, but when she woke up, they were gone. Now, her mother and Daniel Martell, the stepdad, I don't think they're married, but he with that role also inserted himself into this case quite a bit and has changed his story several times. Now, authorities launched an extensive search immediately, deploying ground crews, helicopters, drones, and police dogs, but they never put cadaver dogs in there. Now, people were asking, and Daniel Martell kept asking for cadaver dogs. Now, I'm going to assume that he did that. He asked for cadaver dogs because they know, I believe Daniel Martell and Malaya hold the key like Chris and Katie do. All right. I think he's more than flaky, but that's what we're going to talk about today. And thank you, Angel. It's all worth it if I get one. Your haircut looks awesome, Jay. All right. So listen here. I just filled you in quickly. Now, they did all the searches, but they did not have an Amber Alert. It didn't meet their criteria. Law enforcement does not believe that they just walked away, even though they said it a few times. I have very contradictory information in not only the affidavit, you guys, but also in the court filings. There's lots of information that will say much different. So I might just show you the screen real quick so you guys aren't not really hearing what I'm saying about this. All right. So they went missing. Everything happened. Daniel interjected himself. And as this case rolled out, they didn't release affidavits, court documents. They had to be dug out of there. So I do have the affidavit that I just want you to look at quickly. I do not have time to read it all today. I might be doing a part 2 on this tomorrow because there's so much information. All right. I'm much better. I am much better. I don't know if I'm going to be on here tomorrow. Mama Pearl's coming to visit. She should be here around 4:00 right when I stream. So if I stream tomorrow, it's going to be at like 2:00, but I'll let you guys know for sure. So listen here. And thank you guys for rolling on in, hitting that like button and being part of the crew. All right. So I kind of brought you back for a second about everything that happened. All right. Ground searches, despite 6 days of searching, RCMP announced that the likelihood of children being found alive, now this was back in May of 2025, was very, very low. All right. They haven't really had much of an update until yesterday. So I dug into the affidavit, guys, and I got to tell you, the affidavit that was filed by RCMP, it obtains warrants for accessing the children's mother's and stepfather's cell phone and bank records. All right. It has the results of the polygraph test administered to the main players and the family members. It also has reports from witnesses who may have seen the children. Now, the seizure of the items during the search, including the children's toothbrushes. And then there's some key documents in the court filings that you guys haven't got to see. All right. And yeah, you guys can, all game RCMP's a joke, 100%. Well, listen, you might say that today as well, again, because I feel like this case, it feels like this whole case is a joke somebody's playing on us. All right. So good to see you guys. Come on in before I start getting into too many details and people say, hey, Jay, what the hell happened? What's up, Jody? Good to see you. Bree, there's a fine details on those docs I've read 20 times now. Well, I'm glad that you have, because you know what? I dug those up today and it was really hard to find. Yeah, I'll leave that up for a second. The documents are all redacted. and really hard to find. So let me just put this up real quick while I talk to you. I do have the documents. I'll probably put them up on Ghost just so you can get a hold of them and not have to dig like I did. Now, in these documents, these are the ones that talk about and show you, which I'm not going to go over all today, but this is the state of, I don't know why that says that up there. This is, why are they giving me this one? Let me pull this down. This is the wrong one. I don't know what they had there. Let me put this back up. I'll put the other one. I put the wrong one, but listen, court filings and affidavits are important so you can see the actual records. The affidavit that I pulled up, inside of it, and the person that just said they read it 20 times has all the search warrants for the cell phone, bank records, polygraph results, witnesses that made statements, and the seizure of the different items, including the toothbrushes. Now, quickly, court filings. All right, let's talk about the court filings that nobody's talking about. Nobody's looking at these details. The court filings talk about the household. They show the household items that investigators collected, the everyday objects from the Sullivan family home, including bedding, clothing, electronics. All of those were forensically tested to check for trace evidence, although they haven't said much. Pink blanket fragments. I don't know if you guys noticed that there were two separate pink blanket fragments that were collected. We heard about one, but we did not hear about two. Hey, lady, love your show. Praying for these two kids. Pray for my son, Wes. Oh no, he just passed away. He was 48. Well, you guys, if you guys can pray for Wes, I pray for Wes. I'll keep that up for a moment. Okay. Say a prayer for Wes that passed away way too soon. I'm 46 years old. Wes was 48. That's just not right. All right. It's just not right at all. I'll try to send it. I've had hard times in the past sending them to people and not being able to open them. Well, I'm pretty good with documents and things. You could try to send it over. And yeah, I'll leave that up there while we talk about this. Now, listen. So the household items that we talked about, they have them. They're two separate pink blanket fragments that I don't know if you know about. Police recovered both, and they believe to be Lily's. One found earlier in the search near a wooded trail, and another one later discovered in the trash, according to filings. Now, why would someone throw away evidence? All right. Now, also digital and financial records, guys. The affidavit shows police sought their phone records, banking, and surveillance. But what's happening? And that's helping to reconstruct the movements and put timelines. Also, polygraph examinations. There were at least 4 polygraph tests administered to mother Malaya, stepfather Daniel, and biological father Cody Sullivan. The documents noted that the results indicated they were truthful in their responses. Although, guys, that happens. And that's why they don't use these documents necessarily in court, because after all the info that I've been gathering and looking at, Daniel Martell he's a mathematician. All right. He's a mathematician. He possibly cooks it and uses it. And when you see him in this next video, you'll say the same thing. You're going to say, how can he be so calm? Look at his breathing pattern. Look at his eyes. Look at his tones, everything. It's worse than just body language. It's body language. It's the analysis. It's everything that's mixed up in this case. All right. Bless the babies. Absolutely. All right. Other evidence that was seized was children's toys, bedding, personal effects, and they were all logged in with the search warrants and DNA. But where are they? What's happening with this? All right. Hours ago. Let's start with this.
5 months after Jack and Lily Sullivan vanished, their stepfather Daniel Martell says he continues to search for answers and cooperate with police. That included when cadaver dogs recently came to his property.
I come home and the dogs were already, on scene, and they were there for about an hour before I got there. I didn't know the exact day when the arrival was going to happen.
And this, we're going to go over this interview. This is just a quick update from yesterday on the things that happened in the search. Now just watch his body language a little bit. And just because I think he's a mathematician doesn't mean I'm calling him anything worse with the big M. I'm not calling him that. I'm not saying that. One thing doesn't have to be true for the other thing to be true. But yeah, Ashton, look at his teeth. Look at his breathing patterns. Look at how he moves. Look at his clothes. He tries to be Rico Suave. He wants the attention, guys. He wants attention. He wants to appeal to the ladies. We've seen him all over recently on the Drunk Turkey show, which I have a clip of, all 8 minutes without any distractions. So we're going to go over that as well. He's all over the place, inserting himself into the case. So one thing doesn't have to be true to be the other, right? Daniel, the mathematician, just give us these beautiful babies, all right? He's a mathematician, but again, I'm not saying one thing has to connect to the other, but Mighty Mo, I agree with that. Let's get into this. We have enough for 2 episodes today, but I don't have the time for that.
So
Hold on,
it was even surprised to me, like, but at the end of the day,
yeah,
everything's ruled out there, and
Suave.
I hope this speculation, turns elsewhere.
2 dogs trained to detect human remains were brought in from British Columbia the week of September 22nd. They spent about 3 days searching a total of 40 kilometers for evidence.
Now remember, we're on October 9th, 2025. All right. What's up, Queen? I'm feeling much better. Yeah, you guys, there's a lot. You guys are gonna be like, whoa, how did I miss that? Or yeah, good looking out, Jay. Yeah. Now I see it. All right.
Evidence of the 2 missing children.
They didn't locate any human remains or anything associated to this file or any open files.
Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon is the officer in charge of major crime and behavior.
Now, this is just a preview of what we're going to get into today. All of this we're going to get into. These are all just clips put together. That's laying this out for you. And I promise, I don't think any one of you will be bored by any of this. All right. I've been doing this. Man, there's a lot.
Sciences in Nova Scotia. He says the dogs scoured the Lansdowne property where the siblings lived. They also sniffed the woods where a pink blanket was previously found and a nearby pipeline and intersecting trails. He wouldn't confirm whether people were questioned during the latest search, but Martell tells CBC one of the RCMP dog handlers had tough questions for him about the day before the children disappeared.
Hey, man, maybe I should tell him too. When you're into mathematics, it might be worth taking out a mirror and some clippers too. Just saying. I just can't help it. Sorry. He's everywhere. Every channel that's covering this that I turn on, there's Daniel either in chat or trying to get an interview. All right. So I'm just doing a little bit of clowning on him just to lighten it up. But bro, get yourself some clippers, man. You missed the back there. Come on. Let's go. Get it done.
He said that
he's trying to
Thursday
do the
didn't have enough details, and we think you did something to the kids Thursday night. I said to him that Thursday was just an ordinary day until they woke up on Friday morning. And that's when,
if you completely are new to this case, like Nettie, that's Daniel Martell. That's the other person that I believe holds the key to where Jack and Lilly, I should say that where their bodies are at this point.
like, life changed.
Martell says the Cadaver Dog searched inside his trailer.
Exactly.
And police even looked under his deck. McCammon says his team is prepared to keep working on this case until it's solved.
And in my opinion, what we're going to get into next is that Daniel knows everything, and that's why he's confident about what he's saying. You could certainly say they're not here. Come on, I've been asking you to bring the Cadaver Dogs to come check. They're not there. In my opinion, he knows where they are.
This is not something that we stop working on. We've got 2 young children, Lily and Jack, who've gone missing from their home, and it is a Missing Persons Act investigation still at this time. But we need to find answers to that. There's a lot of legitimate public concerns about how 2 children go missing and we can't find them. So we're going to continue until we have answers.
And listen, guys, the RCMP are not telling us half of what they know, and they don't have to. Nobody has to tell us anything. But as I was looking through this case, I saw another YouTuber talking about that they call that a FOI pop request from RCMP. And they were looking back at a letter from RCMP that clearly talks about them having a reason to believe that the people that they're looking at have knowledge that can lead them to the Jack and Lilly case. All right. They do not think that those children wandered off. Now, they sealed that document, and this person did a FOI pop, which I'm not really sure exactly what that means, but from the day one, they've said they don't believe that these children wandered off, and they signed and dated it, and then they sealed it. Why would they do that? What do they know, and how close are they to getting answers? Well, I mean, why are they saying the children didn't wander off and talk about, they say the investigation team from Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit has referred this matter to me to support in seeking your consideration for its inclusion to the program, as they believe there are individuals who are privy to the information that could result in locating Jack and Lilly. I recommend that this case be added to the Rewards for Major Unsolved Crimes program for a period of 12 months, at which time the status of the file will be reviewed by Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit. They signed, dated it, Chief Superintendent Dan Morrow, and then they sealed it, which I don't understand. I'll show you that right after I pull this. Let's finish this.
He says bringing dogs back to these woods again could be a possibility if new information suggests they missed something. Angela McIver, CBC News, Lansdowne.
All right, so they don't call that one a FOIA. I know about FOIAs, guys. I know what a Freedom of Information Act is, but in Nova Scotia, they're calling it something else. The people that did the documentation. I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about. All right, so I have some of the disappearance facts on here, and there's the actual letter. Let me make sure that you guys can see this. So there's the letter that I was talking about, and it says here, we've obtained through the FOIPOP, which is in Canada. Now, in the United States, they're FOIAs, Freedom of Information Act. So I don't know. I didn't even have time to look up what FOI POP request is. I'm assuming it's similar, but it's request. The RCMP Chief Superintendent on June 6th requested that Jack and Lilly Sullivan's disappearance be added to the Major Rewards Unsolved Crimes Unit. And then they say they have a reason to believe there are people with knowledge that can lead us to Jack and Lilly. So they're looking a bit closer, I believe, at the people that were there, not only that night, but that live on the property. So you can see that they wrote that up in June, and then they sealed it. So why did they seal that, and why are they leaving out a ton of information for us to just try to guess? And I think that's what causes a lot of this, a lot of the interruptions in the case, a lot of the creators just saying whatever they want and filling in the blanks. That's what happens. That's what happens when you seal documents. I mean, all right, now let's take a look at this. Now we're up to date. All right, we've been here 23 minutes. I hope you guys know what we're talking about now. Everything else is coming from yesterday. All right, and then I'll tell you when we switch back. It's under a Missing Persons Act, so we can still get info based on that since it isn't criminal. Okay, thank you. Weren't they digging a swimming pool on the property? And see, that's the thing. I haven't heard any of that. I've heard a lot of rumors, but Janie couldn't test. She's on a heart medication. Okay, yeah, they didn't name her at all. There's nobody else named in that. And thank you, Foxy, for the Guilty of Crime membership, and Curious Christine toward your goal. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all so very much. And it's okay. We're just getting started, Diane. You probably know this case, so here we go. Cadaver Dog search for Lilly and Jack. All right, this was yesterday. Today is the 9th of October, 2025, and this is October 8th, 2025. Cadaver Dogs searched for Jack and Lilly and didn't find human remains. All right, so let's just take a look at this real quick. Bless those children, guys. They need to come home. They deserve to be found. Here's the video that goes with it. Cadaver Dogs fail to find remains in Pigtown, but that doesn't mean that there's not more interviews, or I'm sorry, more information. Jen LeBlanc, I live in Nova Scotia. It was very cold then, right? They couldn't have survived longer than a few days, give or take. All right. What's up, Tara? Good to see you. Do you have braids? I think you got braids. I like your braids. All right. All right. Let's keep going. Where's the mom in all this? She's not around. She disappeared. All right. She kind of did the whole thing that Chris and Katie did in the Sebastian Rogers case where they just picked up and left while their children are missing or child was missing. All right, I appreciate it. DMB, I appreciate everybody in chat today because I'm sure you guys have heard different information than I have, but there's a lot. So listen, freedom of information and protection of privacy, FOI POP. Thank you. I appreciate you, DMB, so much. Diane Balboa, thank you for helping towards the goal for the $3 super sticker. All right, let's go to yesterday. All right, now listen, finally the dogs have come in. You'll hear Daniel talking about how he's been asking for the cadaver dogs to come in. All right, cadaver dogs, specially trained to pick up the scent of human remains, did not find the 2 children who have been missing from rural Nova Scotia for more than 5 months now. RCMP announced Wednesday they renewed calls for information in the disappearance of Jack and Lilly. And you guys will understand why law enforcement is calling for people to give them information if they know it. All right. You say, I feel like they're with Malaya. That's an interesting concept, Kit Kat. Let me know how you feel at the end of today. She legitimately left right after her interview. Ding, ding, ding. Of course she did. That's what all mothers do. Not. The chief's mom says, not on the res. All right, let's keep going. All right, now listen. I told you what happened. Jack and Lilly, 4 and 6, went missing May 2nd, 2025. All right, so let's catch up to today or yesterday. Sergeant Rob McCammon said 2 dog teams that traveled from British Columbia searched a total of 40 kilometers over 3 days in late September. All right, Inspector Luke Reddy and his police dog Narc, as well as Sergeant Dave Whalen and his police dog Kit. So we got Narc and Kit searched the property the children went missing from, along with the nearby pipeline intersecting trails, and in the area where a pink blanket was previously found. The officer in charge of the major crime and behavioral science of Nova Scotia said the locations had the highest probability of finding the children, but they were not found. Now, they're saying it doesn't necessarily mean that there's no possibility that there isn't human remains there, but as he said in an interview on Wednesday, they feel they've exhausted the areas that the best they can. All right, and that's what we're going to get into today with the Daniel Martell interview, because we're going to see what his response is to this whole thing. He's overly cocky, overly interjected in the case, and he knows way too much. So he says he knows everything. He's been asking them to do this for a long time. He's been begging them to do this, and they just won't do it. In my opinion, they waited way too long to bring out the cadaver dogs, guys. It was cold. It's been hot. There's creatures out there. There's things that could have happened. Also, somebody could have went back to the burial site and moved them. They could have removed evidence. It's been too long. I don't know why they waited that long. All right. Now, there's the searchers, right? This came out yesterday. The children's disappearance in early May sparked an extensive grid search originally. All right. 8.5 square kilometers, most dense woods. You guys know about this case if you know. Volunteers search service dogs, drones, and helicopters. However, they didn't have cadaver dogs, which in my opinion, they should have. All right. So RCMP say no, we're going to get into that. I'm not going to go. We're going to see this, what they call, I guess, a press conference in a little bit. All right. So you all get into all that. We're going to hear him and many details. And then we're going to hear him from this interview and many details broken down. Right. I'm not going to read about the interview. I'm going to show you because, well, that's how we do around here, right? I think we're all visual beings. Some of us aren't, because some of you guys just are cleaning and listening. A cadaver dog can scent even if the bodies move. Proteins live in the soil. They can, but the likelihood of the weather, where it is, etc., I think they waited too long. So, yeah, I'm not saying that everything is gone, but you can remove and move a lot of evidence in that time frame. All right, so let me jump into the next one, the cadaver dog fail. This is the one from that interview, and then we got a lot today, guys. Buckle up, Buttercup.
A new update in the investigation into the disappearance of 6-year-old
Hold on, I don't know what happened there.
Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan is raising more questions than answers. The sister and brother went missing nearly 5 months ago, and on Wednesday, the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crimes Unit announced their efforts to locate the children continue.
Are you considering this a criminal investigation yet?
We're still investigating it as a missing person act. We don't have, we follow facts and evidence. So we collect the information.
Yeah, this is a full interview, which we're going to watch in a bit. It gives a lot of details. And sometimes you guys need to pay attention to what somebody isn't saying. All right. And again, I don't understand how they, what he's talking about or why they classify it that way when it says one thing. And when you look at the documentation that's not readily available, it says something different. So I wonder what's really going on that they're not telling us.
And from that, we base our decision making.
But for former officers like Jim Hoskins, everything made public in this case suggests criminal activity.
So you got 2 kids missing under those kind of circumstances. To me, definitely a major crime and a possible criminal offense somewhere. Something nefarious.
Yeah, I like how this guy interjects because he's part of this and he's right. In my opinion, this is a criminal act. This is something that happened criminal, and the last people to see them hold the key to a lot more. We still haven't heard exactly with details what happened the night before or days before about the party. Who was at the party? Where are the people that were at the party statements? Who are all the cars that were going in and out? Where are all the cars? What were they doing? Who saw the kids last? Now, there's a lot of different interviews and speculation, but it's not documented by RCMP, and it hasn't been added to this. Even this new press conference doesn't say any of that. And it's interesting how they're projecting on to us on YouTube. You'll see it in a little bit. Oh boy. Oh boy.
To me, may very well have happened.
Not to mention a $150,000 reward for information, something Hoskins says you don't typically see in missing persons files.
All the techniques for a major crime are on display. They just haven't said it is a criminal investigation.
When the search first began back in May, sniffer dogs were called on scene.
I like how they call them sniffer dogs. Yeah, so if you guys don't know about this case, I hope you know about it in the first 32 minutes that we are. You understand, 4-year-old and 6-year-old Jack and Lily went disappearing. They disappeared, and so did the mom. The mom didn't disappear with them, but she disappeared wherever else she wanted to go. And she also took the baby with her, and then the baby got taken. But I don't know if the baby's back with her because I'm not really keeping up on the little bits and rumors and things. So if you guys know if the baby's back, let me know. Not much I can confirm 100%, but he was adamant. I missed something there. All right. Let's keep going. There's a lot.
Dogs were specifically trained to pick up human scent, including that of recent human remains. Near the end of summer, human remains detecting dogs searched the area. The difference being these dogs can detect the scent of human remains months and even years following death. The dogs and their handlers scoured the 40-kilometer search area over the past few weeks, but turned up nothing.
98% of those dogs usually find something if it's there, especially after 5 months. The longer decomposition takes place, the stronger the scent is for these dogs.
McCammon says there is no evidence at this time that may lead to criminal charges, but his team is open to every possibility as the search for Jack and Lily drags on.
I know there's a lot of public interest in this file, and we want answers just like everybody else, and we're working as hard as we possibly can to get there. We will continue to gather information.
Yeah, when we covered this case earlier, they definitely said this was an anomaly. This is an anomaly and I saw a little, you guys commented earlier about both children going missing, just disappearing at the same time on the same day. That's an anomaly. That is very rare. It's much different when you've got somebody like Sebastian Rogers or Madeline Soda, one single person and their disappearance, etc. But how does that happen with two that nobody can give us the exact thing that happened? They keep changing their stories. The pond, apparently mother and father are both going for hourly supervised visitation with no contact. Mother calls CPS if father gets close. Yeah, that's another situation between them. They've got a lot of tension in their relationship, and we think it's because of Daniel, but it could be because of both of them.
You and take action.
He encourages anyone with information to contact Nova Scotia RCMP or Crime Stoppers. Ella MacDonald, Global News.
All right, there we go. And we definitely have more updates. But before we get into the major updates, I want to stay on the fact that the Cadaver Dogs, I think I did the wrong one. Hold on. That the Cadaver Dog search failed to find human remains, and what Daniel has to say about the search, and why is it that he seems to know everything and nothing at the same time. Tammy says, Sarah, I don't believe anyone can say they know anything 100% unless they, exactly. I agree. That's why we say, in my opinion, Tammy, you got it. You got it. All right, listen, we backed up yesterday, new information. Now we're going to go into the Cadaver Dog and what he has to say. And why does Daniel seem to know everything and nothing at the same time? All right, let's do that. Let's do that together. And then we will get the press conference going for you guys. It's only about 11 minutes, but it's very informative about what they say and what they don't say. All right. So, and then we're going to talk about how we're interjected into this. It's just that there's a lot of interesting things today. Oh boy.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm doing well, but
You don't look well, buddy.
doing better than I was at the start, I guess.
He doesn't look.
It's physically exhausting, mentally exhausting, emotionally exhausting, but every day you wake up and it's a new day. New hope. And just keep
Come
going
on
forward.
in.
Tell me
They
about the
like
toll, like what you were just mentioning earlier about social media. And
Yeah, social media has been quite a circus, we'll call it.
That's a stepdad.
No, he calls it a circus, guys, but I have an interview, not just this one, but the interview that he did on Drunk Turkey Show. What he's insulting, but he's the one that's actually making it a bigger circus. You'll see what I'm talking about right after this. And even in this, I feel like he's purposely interjecting it and making a circus. This reminds me of, and I'm sorry, but the way Chris Proudfoot started interjecting into the Sebastian case and calling everybody's channel and telling him this and telling him that, and it's just he's making it more of a circus. It doesn't make sense. How do you know everything and nothing all at once?
Of missing children, but you wouldn't know it. Every day they remain lost, he feels better. Let's break down this interview because that's not the only time he sounds less like a victim of a crime than a perpetrator getting away with one. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. So if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusive videos, early access to new videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. If you're not familiar with this,
All right, sorry about that. I have that in the description. It's Deception Detective. Everything that I have is in the description today. All right, let's listen to this with him. I have the original video, the one from Daniel and the news station. So if you want to watch that with no commentary, it's also in the description. And yes, Joyous, he's making it a circus by interjecting himself, and I feel like he's causing more confusion than helping. But he seems to know everything, and he'll tell us right now how much he knows.
case, don't worry. I'll link my full Lily and Jack Sullivan playlist below so you can catch up later. For now, here's what you need to know. That guy is Daniel Martell, their stepdad, and ever since they vanished without a trace months ago, he's been asking the police to bring cadaver dogs to the property to prove his innocence.
Yeah.
And now apparently the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, are doing just that. All right, without further ado, let's grab our deception decks and start listening.
so what do you make of the fact that they are bringing
Thank
the cadaver
you.
dogs in?
Well, I'm actually pretty happy about that because it's been about 3 months. I've been
I like that he's happy about it. He's not looking too good, guys. Not in this interview anyway. It's like maybe they didn't tell him he was going to have an interview tomorrow.
asking for them, and it's just been delayed, I guess, till now. But I know things take time, and dogs are hard to get.
Come on, guys.
So
hit that like button.
what does this say to you? Because I mean, they are dogs searching for human remains.
Well, I know
He knows everything and
it's going to be
nothing.
really hard work now that there's so much vegetation in the woods, but I'm pretty happy that they're going to be able to do it.
But do you see how he's putting stumbling blocks as he says he's happy? How are you happy about cadaver dogs? I can't understand that unless the whole mathematician thing has something to do with, maybe he didn't do his mathematician that morning. He wanted to be semi-sober. I just don't understand. And neither does Deception Detective either. when I watched this interview on its own, oh my goodness,
I even hope that they bring more than one dog if they have access to more than one dog.
they brought 2.
So what are you happy about? What do you hope
Right.
this will bring?
I would just like to see maybe
Yep.
the social media speculation theories and accusations, maybe they're not going to stop, but slow down.
Especially now
'Cause
when you're going on
at this
these
point, they're
channels, dude.
getting ridiculous.
So are you thinking that the dogs will go in there and won't find anything?
I know for 100% they won't find anything. I mean, that's probably why they waited this long to do it. Just to keep the public informed, I guess.
And that's why I bring up exactly what you're saying, Tammy. That's why I bring up the night before or the day before, whenever they had that party. I don't even think they really slept through the party. They had a party, probably stayed up all night and did something. I think something was done with those children long before, hours before any of the phone calls were made to 911. Any of these fake stories about hearing the children and then the changes. I think that is changing because it didn't happen. All right. It didn't happen the way they're saying at all whatsoever. That's why he's so confident about what they're going to find and what they're not going to find where they're searching. But he puts a stumbling block right away.
That they're hard at work.
Do you think it will rule things out?
Yeah, I think we'll rule a lot of things out. We'll rule out that the RCMP are, working hard and there's no human remains on the property.
Is there any piece of you that's preparing for the fact, like, what if they do find something?
No, because
Nope, he knows.
I didn't do anything. I know Malaya didn't do anything.
He didn't
I know
kill
my mother
them.
didn't do anything. Those are 3 people on the property.
For someone
And what about anybody else, guys? What about anybody else? What do you think? He just named 3 people that didn't do it. Again, it's important what people say and what they don't say. All right. We got a lot to get through today.
who was apparently drifting in and out of sleep when Lily and Jack disappeared, Daniel sure does know quite a bit about what happened to them. For instance, he knows where they aren't. He knows their dead bodies aren't on the property.
Exactly.
And he somehow also knows who isn't responsible. The implication, of course, is he knows where they are. That's how he knows they
Yeah.
won't be found on the property. And he's either hiding who actually did it, or he knows that none of those 3 people did it because he knows who did. And this isn't a reach. After all, if he actually didn't know what happened, I'd expect him to be curious about what the dogs might find and apprehensive about it. But he's not. He's happy about the dogs
Yeah, I don't even know how that gets into there. He's happy about the dogs. He has been asking, just like he did with the polygraph test.
coming. I'd also expect him to be suspicious about all the other adults who are on the property, but he isn't. He's conclusive
Deception,
about their
that
innocence
guys.
when, if his story's true, he has no way of knowing that. Indeed, conclusiveness, despite the evidence, is one of the 4 ways that hoaxers give themselves away. I've put the spotting hoaxes card for my deception deck on your screen now if you want to read the other
Oh,
3.
Dan.
And by the way, as a side note, Daniel, criminals move bodies all the time. The cadaver dogs not finding anything on the property doesn't prove you're innocent. It actually suggests the opposite. How could he know the kids aren't dead somewhere on the property, even if there was no foul play involved? Remember,
Exactly.
the story
How
is
does
they
he know
wandered
that?
off into the woods.
I didn't do anything. I know Malaya didn't do anything. I know my mother didn't do anything.
I mean, but name the other people that were around that night. And yeah, truths. It's probably 100% true what he's saying in his mind. But was it your brother? Was it somebody at the party, your friend? Did somebody? I don't think anyone helped them. But what is he saying here?
Those are 3 people on the property. I mean, after the polygraph exams, they should have known right there. We didn't kill any of the kids, or we didn't kill the kids.
We didn't kill the kids. What?
Why do you think that they're not possibly, like, why that they didn't possibly wander into the woods?
Well, with the amount of resources that were used, and I mean, for everything from drones to helicopters to classified technology and all the searchers on the ground. I mean, searchers on bicycles. They
Boy, he's doing his research, isn't he?
they did everything. On the pipeline, they took in ATVs and Argos and side-by-sides. They used everything they could.
Tell me about what do you make at this point of the investigation of what RCMP have been doing or not doing? What's your stance on it?
And remember, if you're looking at body language in the beginning, he was very shifty and now he's closing himself off, right? So I just want you guys to realize that too. When someone, deception detective doesn't do body language, but as you watch this mathematician, it's hard for me not to think that he is doing that, being shifty because of that, but he's also blocking himself off when she's asking very pointed questions. All right.
All of that.
Well, I would like to go in for another whole round of polygraph exams. I mean, that would be, and maybe bring some new people in that are doing the polygraph exams.
That's a
But
great waste of
I know they're hard at
resources,
work.
huh?
I mean, I've filled notebooks with just trying to help them find leads or give them any kind of small detail, answer as many questions as I can, or
Notebooks.
But I'm doing everything I can. I usually try to meet with them 3 times a week.
Damn, they let him 3 times a week.
Sometimes they're not around for that, or phone calls or texts, but whatever we can do.
I wonder why he's so invested and Malaya's nowhere. He's very invested. He's super invested without having any emotions involved, right? If he loves them and misses them so much, I'm just not seeing that part of it.
So I guess to bring it back to the cadaver dogs, since you've been asking for it for so long, I guess
I don't know.
You don't have any information on how that will happen?
No, I don't.
I know.
I don't even know where quite they're going to start searching, or
Damn,
where they're going to do. Are they going to expand out onto the properties? The property there is fairly small. It's only 2 acres.
I mean, to me, he wants to control the narrative, and that's what he's doing, guys. I mean, I understand that all too well. On my channel, I control my narrative and how I put things out, and he's controlling the narrative not only on the news with the local news stations, but he's going to YouTube after YouTube channel trying to control the narrative here. And that's why I feel he's so interjected in the case 3 times a week. Isn't that a bit excessive to meet with RCMP and then notebooks after notebook? He wrote notebooks and notebooks trying to help them. Yeah, that happens a lot. That happens a lot when I mean, some call this duper's delight.
So,
yeah. Will it be the whole 8.5 that they searched?
I don't know. That's a lot. That would be quite a few. That'd be a couple weeks probably on foot doing that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at the documents, and some of the other stuff RCMP has said or done, there's 70,000 drone photos that were taken during the search. That's a lot of photos. I mean, they had to review and do everything. So they would have found some kind of something there. Or even when they brought in classified technology, they scanned the whole area. They ever found a beaver and a coyote. That's all they found.
I mean, listen to what they found, a beaver and a coyote. That's all they found. Oh my goodness.
So why do you think this step is necessary?
I think he's making himself look worse.
Well, it just rules out one and brings the book a little bit closer to being closed. I mean, one chapter at a time.
He wants to
That's
close
the lead
it.
into the clip I played in the intro. And the reason it jumped out to me is because Daniel seems to be implying that the book is closed once he's ruled out all the possibilities that he's guilty, whereas actual innocent parents of missing children only consider the case closed once they've found their kid. If the cadaver dogs come to the property and don't find any cadavers, he's 1 chapter closer to putting this entire story behind him and moving on with his life. In reality, an actual innocent parent would want the dogs on the property to either confirm the worst, as terrible as it might be, so that they can know that their kids are at least at peace.
Right. And I'm listening to this, and I heard one of the biggest things that just stood out was him wanting to close the case, which would never come out of anybody else's mouth here. If your children, especially 2, were missing, the baby mama that wasn't even your babies, you're trying to interject yourself and then control the narrative by interjecting into all kinds of YouTube channels, the news stations. What? I wish I had more answers. Sherlock Homegirl, welcome. I thought you were a member before, but welcome again.
Or to rule out the property as a possible location where they may be so that they can focus their efforts elsewhere. Either way, it's not something to be happy about. The dogs either find the kids dead on the property or they find them nowhere on the property, which increases the odds that the kids were actually kidnapped by a psychopath and taken somewhere to have who knows what happened to them.
So why do you think this step is necessary?
Well, it just rules out one and brings the book a little bit closer to being closed. I mean, 1 chapter at a time.
He wants to close the whole book, guys. Let's just close the whole book. Children are missing. Malaya's gone. I just want to start over. I want people to stop talking about me. Oh, hold on. My phone's going off. I got to be on YouTube in a little bit. I got an interview on Drunk Turkey. I mean, I'm sorry. And I'm so glad that Drunk Turkey got that interview. But really, if my children were missing, the last thing I would be doing is going on to the Drunk Turkey show or even Guilty of Crime and giving an interview where you keep changing your statements. And yeah, I think there's leakage as well by him saying that he knows for a fact the children aren't there. Bring the cadaver dogs. He's leaking that he knows where they are and they're not there. We haven't even heard the update from RCMP yet, guys.
How have you been doing?
Well, I'm not going to say I'm doing well, but doing better than I was at the start, I guess.
Tell me.
It's physically exhausting, mentally exhausting, emotionally exhausting, but
Yeah.
every day you wake up and it's a new day. New hope. And just keep going forward.
Tell me about the toll, like what you were just mentioning earlier about social media.
He looks like he's about to turn into a werewolf right there. Is it just me? Is it because it's close to Halloween? What is it? I don't know why. He just looks like he's like everything's growing out and he's he's turning into a wolf right now. It's a full moon.
Yeah, social media has been quite a circus, we'll call it.
You're part of that circus, Mr.
I can't control them, and they're free
Mr.
to judge.
Werewolf. He's like,
They maybe just use a little bit of this before they start typing or
he does, right? He's about to turn into a
using
werewolf.
AI for pictures.
I mean, we're coming up on, is it coming up to 5 months?
Yeah, in the second. So yeah, it's less than 2 weeks.
He's Rico Suave,
Did
guys.
you ever imagine that we'd
He
be here still
does, he
talking about
looks
this?
like
No.
Wolverine.
I thought with the amount of resources and amount of different units for RCMP working on it, everything from dive teams to canine units and social, they have dedicated teams.
Yeah, he's turning into Wolverine hardcore right now. Joe Hunter, what's up? Good to see you in chat. Oh, yeah, I'm glad that you did hear it on Crime and Shame. They've been covering this case nonstop. They even made it into the freaking news. The news is talking about this case and the YouTube channels that are controlling the narrative, and this guy's interjecting himself, all right? I want to play that song, Rico Suave. He thinks he literally looks like he's like a ladies' man. He tries to be anyway. He's a shapeshifter. He's like, it's time for the werewolf to come out. He almost looks sweaty too, man. Man, didn't they tell you had an interview today, bro?
Just for social media. They have a dedicated guy that just sits there and watches highway
Hey,
cameras.
Wolfpack, good to see you.
What's it been like for you now that we're back to September, school's back, and like seeing the school bus go by every day?
Yeah, no, it's hard. There's quite a few school buses that go by, and there's a lot of kids in the area I see, and sad. It's not just sad for Jack and Lily, but it's sad for everybody who knew Jack and Lily. They had friends, they went to school, and it's just they had teachers that.
And still, if he thinks that they're out there looking, I can't, the past tense, I haven't heard him say that I think the children are no longer with us. I just haven't heard that, or I haven't heard it. He talks about not killing the kids, but then he's using them like majorly in the past tense. What's up, Wolfpack? Good to see you. And guys, don't forget, we're a little bit closer to the goal. Today I put in the goal memberships, and I do want to give away this t-shirt. All right, I want to give it's a medium too, guys. Look at this shirt. All right, just saying, y'all, hit that like button and help to get to the goal. Thank you. All right, the mom's gone. She's not around. She left.
Seeing them every day.
I don't know where she is.
Just hard on everybody.
I know we ask you this every single time, but why do you keep doing it?
Me
for
too.
Jack and Lily.
It's
I don't
guilty.
do this for myself because I'm going to see this online later, and people are going to analyze it. Every time I move my hands, every time I open my mouth, every facial expression, they analyze everything right down to a T.
And he knows that, and yet he still didn't brush his teeth or comb his. Oh, never mind. That has nothing to do with the interview. You're right, Ann. All right, let's keep going. Man, just wait until we get to the drunk turkey. I mean, he literally just wants to see himself on camera. I don't know what his end goal is.
I know that.
Does anyone
What
think
would you
he's
like
ever
the
going to be
public to know?
arrested? That would fit you.
I want the public to know if anyone has any information, just
She's
please
at
come
the
forward.
beach.
Call the RCMP, call your local police department, call Crime Stoppers.
Do you still think they're still alive?
Yes.
Called Daniel Martell. But there you go. He just says he thinks they're still alive, but then he keeps saying they had friends. Why not in the sake of your children if they're still alive? They have so many friends that want them to come home, that your friends miss you or their friends. Yeah, he talks in circles, doesn't say a lot, but when he does say something, it doesn't make sense. Oh, he definitely watched true crime for sure.
I hope so.
Daniel says he thinks the kids are still alive, but ever since his first interview, he's been talking about them in the past tense, and he did so in this interview as well. Here's a clip from my first video analyzing Daniel 4 months ago.
You have
Look, he's-
anything come out as fast as possible and get it to any.
See, he almost turned into a werewolf right there. Do you see that? His shape-shifting teeth are coming out. So, yeah, I mean, I guess he looks better now than he did. I don't know, but he's when you Google Jack and Lily, this guy's face is everywhere. I wonder if he's ever going to get arrested for anything. I wonder if anyone's going to get arrested.
Detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to.
Deborah
And
Glenn,
Jack just
welcome.
absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that.
Oh, he's sad there.
But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends, not just brother and sister.
That's Daniel Martell, and I think he knows what happened to his missing stepchildren. It's not just because he's already talking about one of them in the past tense. So in today's video, let's watch his interview with the Canadian press and count the red flags. I'll link that video on the end card if you want to watch it next. And if you've already seen
All right, the Canadian press. I have the full one, but we have so many other things to get into. So I'm gonna what police are saying about the search, and this was 23 hours ago. So for many of you, I love that you have not been following up on this case, or maybe you've been frustrated with this case because every time you look up Jack and Lily, there's 10 videos that are simply AI clickbait, and then the other 10 videos are, you know, a 7-hour session, and you can't really find what you're looking for. All right, the Ponce seems like cops are finally catching on that something happened on Thursday. Malaya says she doesn't know what time he came to bed. He told her he would stay and clean him. Yeah, he's very helpful now, isn't he? He's a very helpful guy. Clark, good to see you, my friend. All right, this is the update from RCMP. This is the full update, 11 minutes and 54 seconds, and it's broken down into, we're talking about the Cadaver Dog search. Is there a possibility something was missed? Where the dogs searched? We're talking about Daniel Martell, and then we're going to talk about the Cadaver Dogs being brought back and what's happening now. All right, so let's get into this together. Buckle up, stay here. 23 hours ago, here we go, and I still got quite an episode for you when we're done right here. So sit down, relax, grab yourself a snack, get something to drink, and hit that like button, y'all. All right, we're just getting started. All right, let's go. What happened? What's RCMP saying about this?
That are trained to detect human remains were in the community on the property where the children went missing.
Mhm.
What did they find?
Well, they did not find or signify any, identify any scent of human remains during their search. So they searched the property around the family's home. They searched the area where we found.
So she asked what they found, and he didn't tell us anything about what they found. He completely just skipped over that guy. So keep that in mind, what he doesn't say. You can listen to what he does say, but listen to what he doesn't. She asked him a very direct question. What is it that you found? They had 2 dogs and more. We had 2 people that controlled the 2 dogs, right? Kit and Narc are out there searching with the huge team. That's a valid question. What did you find? You're telling me they found nothing? He skips over and tells us what they didn't find. I would have probably went back and said, sir, thank you. I appreciate that. But can you tell me anything that you found? Did you find anything, a bottle, a cigarette, anything?
The big blanket, the pipeline area, and the intersecting trails. And they
Thank you, Barbie G.
The dogs didn't indicate on any scent of human remains during those searches.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that they didn't locate any human remains or anything associated to this file or any open files. So there was no human remains found. It means that we've basically done, we completed that area of the search. It doesn't necessarily mean that that there's no possibility that there isn't human remains there. There could have been a chance the dogs maybe missed it or whatever. But at the end of
and what he's saying too, is he trying to give us hope or is he not? I wish I knew more. In my opinion, Daniel Martell was high for the drunk turkey interview. Well, I hope you guys stay here because after this, we've got it clipped out for you with no commentary. You don't have to watch 2 hours to find out what he says and what his demeanor's like. And that was hard for me to find. So I had to, you'll see. Let's go. Thank you guys for helping support the channel.
the day, we haven't located any human remains.
So it doesn't mean that there is not human remains there.
There's always a possibility that maybe
Thank you.
the scent didn't hit the dog that day or what have you, but we're confident in the search patterns that were deployed and based on the best practices of our police dog services human remains detection and handling unit. And we were confident in the search done, but we did not find human remains.
Help the public understand how there could still be a possibility, though. What other factors could be at play? That...
Well, I mean, the conditions at the time were good for the work we were doing, but I'm not entirely sure of exactly the technical things or the technical kind of terms to use associated to why they wouldn't have got seen or how something could be found in the area. But regardless, they could be tucked away in different areas. There could be anything that could have caused an odor not to be picked up by the dog.
Yeah, I mean, this case is anywhere from someone saying that they're trafficked to they were gone the night before and discarded, to these people giving little leakage when they're talking about this. They've got a lot of leakage that says that they know or they think they know that those little babies are no longer with us, and they haven't been with us since the beginning of the search. Otherwise, they wouldn't have cadaver dogs looking for a body or for human remains. Linda K, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker and supporting our channel.
But again, to our best practices and the training and expertise of our PDS handling unit, we feel we've exhausted the area as best as we can.
Really, there's no way you could say with 100% certainty.
There just isn't a way I could say with 100% certainty. There's the reality is we're dealing with nature and you know, things could happen that we don't understand right now. And at the end of this, when we find out where Jack Lilly are and bring them home, then we should have those answers and understand better.
How many days were the teams on the ground?
I believe it was around 3 days that the teams associated to this particular search, and they searched roughly 40 kilometers of area during that time.
And what do you mean by 40 kilometers? Is that...
Well, they do.
Right. For those in the United States, I don't go by kilometers, my friends. What? Rohaley, member for a month. Good evening, everyone. And hello to you. Mighty Joe says, mwah. All right.
Again, I'm not a PDS dog handler, so I can't talk about all the specifics, and I wouldn't talk about all the specifics related to an investigation, but in general, they run certain search patterns and they do, certain techniques and drills to kind of put the dogs out there and do the searching. So to say exactly how that looks, but they covered roughly 40 kilometers of area during the 3 days that they were searching. It covered all the areas that we felt were relevant to our investigation. Did
they search inside the trailer?
I would have to get back to you for specifics on that, but
that's interesting. I'm wondering if they did that in the beginning and how much of it they're doing now and what they've gathered, and will they released any of that? I think the parents owed a rug debt. Interesting. Love, Jay, and Guilty of Crime. Thank you. And I love your little pumpkin. Thank you for helping to support the channel. Okay, so for those of you that don't work in kilometers either, 3.3 miles to a kilometer. And he said there were 40 square kilometers. So that's about 15 square miles. That makes much more sense to us people here in the United States that don't go by kilometers. I don't at all. Angel, thank you for becoming a Guilty of Crime crew member. All right, let's keep going. A lot of stuff today. All new, guys. All new. So thank you for being here with me.
They did search in and around the property. I wouldn't be able to answer for sure right now. I quickly find we'll get back on
that answer, but
I'm not sure if they went inside, but they did do the whole property around and the area around there, the pipeline.
Sorry, guys, 2.2 kilometers to a mile. Foxy said 3.3, so that's only 15 miles. All right, I'm gonna go with what you're saying because I'm not here doing math and conversions right now.
Trails where the pink blanket's at, and then intersecting paths and areas. So.
Did one of the handlers question the children's stepfather, Daniel Martell?
I don't know.
I can't comment on what was said between Mr. Martell and the dog.
All right,
community on the
oh my goodness. I'm glad these are in sections because now we're talking about Daniel Martell. And they say, did one of the handlers question Daniel Martell? You know, the interesting thing about this case, guys, is if we were in the United States and law enforcement thought that, let's say Daniel Martell was one of the perpetrators, I don't think that they would be able to be active into a case because he can possibly be compromising evidence when he's out there. If they're out there and he's out there and he knows what was there, just like the pink blanket. Why were there 2 pieces of pink blanket and only one got documented and the second one was in the trash? Who found that piece of blanket and what trash and where? Bree, thank you so much for gifting the Guilty of Crime membership. If you got a membership, please thank Bree. All right, now we're talking about Daniel Martell.
Was said between Mr. Martell and the dog handler. That's really not something I'm aware of or have knowledge on, and I don't have any comment there. So,
would it be common practice for a dog handler to question people who are involved in investigation?
Yes.
There may be circumstances. I mean, I'm not sure that there's strict protocols on talking or not talking. I mean, when a dog handler, and maybe not protect this circumstance, but if you show up somewhere and you need to use a dog, you would probably gather some information to help you get that started. So there could be reasons for sure for PDS to be talking to somebody at the scene to get the information they need. But again, there's no solid and fast rules on that. So yeah,
interesting.
They may talk to people when they deploy, and they may not. So,
given there were no human remains detected and that these were locations that were the highest areas of probability.
All right, now we're going to talk about the areas, and we're still talking about Daniel. But listen, sounds like he's like Chris Proudfoot, always going into chats. Absolutely, that's what I'm going to swear to. The only difference is Chris and Katie weren't out there doing any of the searching whatsoever. It's interesting that, like, for instance, the laundries. Oh, my goodness, when I watched that documentary about Brian Laundrie and the laundries, that was wild that they let the laundries just do their thing. They followed them into where Brian Laundrie was camping, and they're the ones that retrieved his bag. Don't you think? 110%, I think, but what do you guys think about them retrieving the bag and taking something out of it before they handed it over to law enforcement? It's very plausible, right? All right, let's keep going.
Is there any other possibility of cadaver dogs being brought in again?
Yeah, I think so.
If we have information or evidence or facts that suggest that there'd be benefit to bringing in whatever resources available to the RCMP, we will look at deploying that resource when it's relevant, pertinent, and beneficial to the investigation. So if there were information or anything that we needed to do or an area we needed to cover again or anything like that, then we would look at bringing them back in and having that done.
What happens now?
Now we continue on with our investigative work. Nothing stopped from the second day of this investigation when major crime took carriage and began collating, sorting, and organizing the information and planning the investigation. We haven't stopped. We've talked with a number of people. We've got over 1,000 taskings that we're still creating new ones and developing new areas to gather information from. We've reviewed over 8,000 videos, thousands of hours of video from
and
the area.
nothing, huh?
And we've done an extensive ground search using both technical capabilities, partner agencies, GSAR, DNR, to as thoroughly as we possibly can search the area around the home and those other areas that I mentioned. And that's if we continue to gather information, make decisions based on that, and if those information suggests that we need to do more searching, we will.
So the investigation hasn't.
I mean, this guy's saying a lot of nothing too. He's giving a little bit, but he's very uncertain about a lot of things as well. That was crazy. The family knew she was in there. You guys talk about other cases. I know this gets a little boring. I sped it up, but this is the information that came out yesterday about what happened in the case and what's going to happen next.
Let up since May 2nd.
No, it has not let up, and it won't. This is not something that we stop working on. We've got 2 young children, Lily and Jack, who've gone missing from their home.
Definitely.
It is a missing persons act investigation.
Definitely prayers.
But we need to find answers to that. There's a lot of legitimate public concerns about how 2 children go missing and we can't find them. So we're going to continue until we have answers.
RCMP have been conducting forensic testing, including on the pink blanket that you mentioned. What can you say about what results came back or what we know about the forensic testing?
Of course, I can't say.
And again, she's asking about forensic testing. And again, he says, I can't say, but there's a little things that he is saying that or not saying that give us more information as well. But forensic testing, what do you got?
Much about the details because, it's part of our investigation and there's a process we go through and we don't want to put out much information. But we've been working with our National Laboratory Services to have the DNA testing done. And
you guys let him know in chat. You see there's somebody in chat. Dale says, wondering if they sold the baby. Some people think they were trafficked. And I did get your emails. Thank you.
get any type of testing related to this investigation in as timely manner as possible.
It's been at least a week since the dog handlers were on site. Why is there a lag in informing the public of what they didn't find?
Well, I'm not sure about the lag. We put our information together. We wanted to make sure that we provide accurate information to the public. And
here's the thing: they're not telling us the items that have been tested or what has been tested. The fact that we talked earlier about the affidavit that nobody was able to get a hold of and they redacted it, and then the court filings that talked about the forensic testing, and you ask on what? Bedding, clothing, electronic devices. All right, we don't know. They're not giving us anything. They're not naming anything. We have to dig, and then they're still not telling us. So what did they find? He didn't tell us. What would they test forensically? He's not telling us.
Both that and some availability for me to be able to come and talk to the public. We wanted to make sure that I had that availability. So there was some delays about that.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
Immediate information that we felt was going to change or collect evidence for us or change the direction of the investigation. So we felt we should maintain an organizational approach to this and make sure that we're
haven't you been doing an organizational approach?
Prepared to provide the information we have and set up these QAs. So that's a bit of the delay. But basically there wasn't immediate information we felt we needed to share with the public, and that we would take the time to get our messaging in line and set up the meetings like this. So
you're a major crimes investigator, and yet this case is being investigated under the Missing Persons Act. Is that still the case?
Absolutely. Yes, it is under the Missing Persons Act. One of the things that major crime brings is...
I'm wondering why it's under the Missing Persons Act, why they're categorizing as that when they still haven't called it a crime. And I'm assuming that's why they're using that classification, because they haven't said it's a criminal act and we have some suspects. I don't get where they're going or what they got out of this. I wish they would give us a little more. Joe Hunter says, I visited Nova Scotia and I thought the nicest people compared to Ontario. I've never been to Canada, so you tell me who's nice there.
The ability to collect, manage, collate, organize, and review large volumes of information using some of our standard practices on information management. So when you have a file like this that's large, we do support an investigative capacity. So there are other areas that sometimes major crime would support an investigative capacity, larger incidents that maybe aren't necessarily the specifics of major crime, but they need that extra added boost for file management, information management, things like that. So we do support different areas like that, but we are the lead on this investigation because of the large size, the volume, and our ability to interconnect different parts of the RCMP to kind of understand what their capabilities are and bring to bear on.
Yeah, he's really just kind of dancing around the questions. It's interesting. It's a criminal, you say criminal investigation. They haven't said that. Depends on where you go. Most people are nice. What's up, Autism Grandma 3? Hello. Happy Thursday.
A given situation. So that's part of the reason why we remain involved in the lead investigation.
So it's still a missing persons case. So if you guys have been following this case, let's try to keep an eye on if this becomes a criminal investigation after they did this last search. That'll give you an idea that they did find something. Maybe they found something else in the house. I would assume if they're going to have 2 cadaver dogs to search a certain area, that they would have had them go search in the house. All right. I'm not really sure. He didn't answer that question. They asked about it and he danced around it. I'm praying that MBM has strong women around her to guide her and do the right thing at the end. The truth for our children. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So to be clear, it's currently not a criminal investigation.
Nope. We don't have any. We haven't collected any evidence or facts or information that suggests criminal investigation or charges or anything like that at this time. So we are still investigating a missing person act.
The news release today mentioned you're exploring all possibilities. Yes. I think a lot of people are wondering what the possibilities are here.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
Of course,
yeah,
I can't talk about our investigative theories in our direction, but we. Part of the role of being an investigator is to be unbiased and collect information, in fact, make decisions based on that. So we continue to do that. We will continue to do that until we have the answers we need to bring Jack Lilly home.
What would you say to members of the public, members of the family who really want answers.
Or how about us, just us that want answers? The media that's messing up your investigation. And when in fact, I think if they were to look at some of the information, which I'm going to show you next, and then I'm going to show you how Daniel's interjecting himself, and then of course the major players in this case, and then we're going to jump to that drunk turkey video, and then you guys tell me. A lot of people haven't seen it, and maybe had to watch and wait through hours of other stuff. So we'll do that, and I'll timestamp this all when we're done.
What I would say to them is that we are grinding as hard as we can to get those answers for them. We want the answers as much as everyone else. We're family people. We have children. We have families. We're aunts, uncles, grandparents. We're everything. Not grandparent yet, but we have the same connections to our communities and our families as everyone else, and we understand the concern. We are concerned, and we are working hard to gather all the information that we can to get the answers to bring Jack and Lily home, and we won't stop that.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I would like to, thank the public for the cooperation and information that they have provided. I would like to.
Well, I'm so glad you're here. For those of you that are still here, we had 330 people at one point. We're down to 268, which means a lot of people probably saw this presser from yesterday. Obviously, I don't always cover breaking news unless I have connections in the case. So this one, we had to wait a day or so. But yeah, stay here next because there's stuff I bet you haven't seen.
Just identify that if anybody does have any further information or facts or evidence or anything that they feel could assist us in locating Jack and Lily, to please call us, and we will follow up and gather that information and follow up with that. So, but we do appreciate that. And I would like to say that, this is a very tough time for the public at large, the investigators, but especially the family. I can't imagine what they must be going through.
Hey, Space Case.
And, we're doing the best we can to get answers for them and everybody else in this situation. So.
All right. Well, he said a lot of, I don't know what, but let's talk about the social media aspect of this and the rumors that swirl, the anti, and why they're turning to YouTube. Why are you guys turning to YouTube for the source? And then you guys were going to do the drunk turkey interview.
The case of missing Nova Scotia children, Jack and Lily Sullivan, has become all-consuming for true crime enthusiasts on social media. Experts say there are benefits.
Yeah, sorry about that, Space Case. Hello. Love you. We all love you and support you. I hope you feel better. It's almost Friday, so hopefully you can relax, chill, and everybody, much love to you out there. Big hugs to everybody. Thank you guys all for supporting the channel. Chief Rocca, we love you. And you better keep coming around, mister. All right.
Benefits and pitfalls. While the discussions can and have led to real-world leads for police, there are also ethical concerns in turning people who are already suffering into.
Everybody, welcome Amanda Melling. She's a new subscriber to Guilty of Crime. Welcome. We all welcome you. Welcome to the Crime Crew family. I hope that you come back. All right. Thank you. Much love to you. Dale, we love you. We love you. We love our Crime Crew fam. I love doing this with you guys.
Content.
All right, listen.
Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live. It's been a minute or so. Ken's joining us.
Sunny Austin does.
Now remember, this is actually the news station that put this out to talk about the rumors swirling and the family turning to YouTube. All right. What's up, Al? Is that Al Henry or AI Henry? Either one. All right. And Carolina Hurtado, shout out to you. Space Case, much love. Queen is the lady that came out to their trailer. Yep, they've been covering the crap out of this case. I'm here. This guy seems nervous. I can detect it. Well, Carrie, stay here. We're going to be here for a bit. Vanessa Maldonado is helping towards that goal. Thank you so much and much love to you. Thank you for that super sticker. All right.
Does this multiple times a week, sits for hours in her BC home discussing every aspect of the disappearance of Jack and Lily Sullivan. In the chat, members of their family.
YouTubers, true crime community, different. We can sit there and keep these cases alive and keep pushing them out there and have family members come join, talk if they want to.
Not everything that's discussed on Austin's show is based in truth, and she realizes that. For her, it's about raising the case's profile.
It was really about being a voice for the victims.
And you guys, at one point, we covered this way back when, and there were some text messages that were sent over to these ladies, and we broke it down with Deception Detective. He's like, don't believe what you say. Look at the screenshots. So for some reason, people are just flying to this channel and giving them information. And now, besides this channel, Daniel Martell's going to the Clutch Them Pearls. He's going to, and these people are all good. They're all good. I watch them. They're great. Drunk Turkey, nothing bad to say. I love his coverage. All right. But these, I mean, why are they so desperate to reach out to these channels and give them information? Why aren't they open with the police? Why aren't they? I don't understand. I don't, again, I'm from the United States. I don't know exactly how Canada, the police works and what they give out. Wyatt, good to see you. We've missed you. Hope this isn't like the potato and justice doesn't come. These mathematicians need to be arrested. I agree. Why does this lady look like she doesn't have a face? Sorry, I'm not trying to make fun of her, but she looks like she has eyes, a nose, and a mouth. That's a really weird filter. If I ever look like that, tell me, Jay, your filter's... All right, you say, I honestly think they go to Sunny because she takes her info and doesn't wash it before she... Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's really the core of everything.
Belinda Gray is Jack and Lily's paternal grandmother. She started watching Austin's show amid a lack of answers. In fact, Gray regularly tunes into more than 10 YouTube shows that are covering the case. She too realizes that online conversations can run amok, but she doesn't care.
To me, the more people that talk about Jack and Lily, the better it is. I don't care who they are. They can state whatever they want that isn't true. I don't care because people are listening and Jack and Lily's name is still out there.
Sergeant Chris Marshall says some of the 800 tips.
You remember the tipster with the big nose tipster that knew the kids were on the reservation and all that? Oh boy. And thank you. I try not to blend all together. I think it's funny, but yeah, you remember that guy that said that the children were on the reservation? He knew exactly where they were, and he was going to their show, and everybody was eating it up, and he was just lying. What happened to him? Why doesn't he get some kind of? There should be some repercussions to interjecting yourself into a case with false information.
RCMP have followed up on were a direct result of the true crime shows that are covering the case. He says in general, these sorts of tips can and have helped move investigations forward.
You know, my experience is that there is a big benefit, but it's like anything, there's risk and reward to anything that we do.
The risk? The tips police know from the outset are false. They are nevertheless required to do their due diligence and fully investigate.
Thank you.
We now have to put investigators on that information, which is taking people away from potentially chasing down actual real leads that are actually,
Exactly. So Durwood, you could have just led these people to the children if you knew where they were. But what? He still goes on to the channels, Durwood. All right. There's a few things I don't like about Sunny that I really liked at first, and she doesn't get good info, but it can be dramatic. Right. I understand having to stream the same thing day in and day out, but okay, he goes to DTs too. All right, Irene Glenn, welcome to the Crime Crew family. Jay just subbed, new here, Jack and Lily Awareness. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
In fact, so that's the complication that can come.
But according to experts, this kind of exposure is a double-edged sword.
I think it's important to remember that every single story that unfolds online, it's real people.
Whitney Phillips says there are major ethical concerns with discussing such cases on platforms like YouTube. Phillips says click-based web engagement is designed to turn world events into commodified content. The attention economy.
Yeah, guys, I do want to give you guys a little bit of an awareness now that I have you. When you're looking for a video to watch or an update, just be careful with what you're watching that's AI generated and what they're saying doesn't match with what it shows, because people will send me, Jay, did you see that a body was found? And I go watch the video and it's just AI generated crap that generates the pictures, and they take the words and just, it's not real. So try to watch out for that. It's happening more and more on YouTube.
Has long driven pop culture and news, in that the most intriguing, shocking, and upsetting information is what people respond to and engage with. But she says that can reduce victims of crime and their families into a consumable product. But Phillips says the attention economy is inescapable. And so it's up to all of us to ponder the ethics of these conversations.
I believe that content producers, including everyday citizens sharing information, have a responsibility of understanding what their digital technologies might not be wanting them.
Yeah, we should definitely all be held accountable for what we're saying. And if it's misinformation because we don't know and we're making assumptions, we should definitely go back and correct it. All right, watching this case since day one. What a sad, confusing case. Where's the mom? Watching from Alberta, Canada. We're all asking, where is Jack and Lily? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being part of that.
To see in terms of the human impact, the human consequences.
I know.
If you guys haven't hit that like and share for Jack and Lily. Again, they've been missing since May 2nd,
5 months.
2025.
Austin says she does make money off her channel through YouTube and donations, but that's not why she's doing it.
So the impact that I know that our channel can have is that we just keep fighting for people to share to the algorithm, to keep the story out there. Do it for Jack and Lily because they're missing children.
Allie Thompson, CBC News, Halifax.
All right, that is the interjection that we're talking about, the social media, the YouTube, all that. Now we're going to go into the interview with Daniel Martell, Hunter S. True Crime. That's what I'm using. He cut it out. New interview with Daniel Martell, September 29th, 2025, Drunk Turkey Show. It's about almost 9 minutes. So let's get into that together. Thank you guys for being here. Like I said, I will timestamp everything for you, so that whoever goes back to watch it, or you want to show somebody the interview or the RCMP update, whatever it may be, you can go back. I used to timestamp everything, or should I say I used to have one of my mods timestamp everything. Now I don't. So that being said, I have to do it religiously after the show. All right. Wyatt says, sad thing if they're deceased and buried out where they live, animals could have got. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying at the very beginning of the show. And although decomposition can still be detected if somebody moves a body or not, there also could be decomposition from other things going on out there, and the weather conditions are a big deal. All right, gotta go. Catch up on the replay. Sad to have to go. Bye, Kit Kat. Good to see you. Come again. All right, let's listen to this guy doing an interview from his bed, by the way. What do you guys think? Does any of the ladies want to find out where he's from? Anyone want to talk to Rico Suave? All right, let's get into it. Let's hear what he has to say. All right. So this is him interjecting himself into this case on these platforms of YouTube.
What time does the search stop on the first day?
The search doesn't stop on the first day. They go right through the night.
Interesting. And when are you notified about a blanket?
If we're referring to the blanket that was up in the tree, or
right,
just
well,
the blanket in general.
Well, let's rewind then. So there's been a lot.
All right, guys. So this is I'd really love for the people that are still here to pay attention to this. If you've seen it, watch it again with us, and let's just look at what they're talking about. We're talking about the ripped blanket. Remember, there were 2 blanket pieces. One was in the trash. The other one, okay, that's what we're talking about. And yeah, Michelle, you sure you don't want me to get in touch with Daniel for you? Rico Suave, look at that bed. Look at that headboard. That's a solid headboard. All right, sorry. You gotta laugh for a second.
A lot of confusion that you had denied that the blanket in the tree was Lily's that ended up being Lily's.
Yeah, what?
Was
What
there
about-
another
how about
blanket that was found out there?
There is actually another blanket. There's a full pink blanket. I was showing a picture of it, splayed out on the ground. Officer Karen Mason showed me that. She was involved in quite a bit of the, just back and forth stuff between the command center and me and Malaya and Mom, and some of the people involved. and just trying to relay information, keep us up to date and stuff like that.
And this pink blanket that they
This guy knows everything and he has an answer for everything. The chief's mom said, high as hell. Tammy says, oh my God, I thought he was a horse. It was a horse barn. Is that his room? Wow, could not figure it out for the life of me. The nose touches Rico Suave, in my opinion.
found, was it something that they found close to the house, or?
I'm not sure the location where it was found. There was a pink blanket. There was a water bottle. There was a children's T-shirt, and there may have been a sock or socks too. It's showing me as well, but none of them belonged to Lily's, right? I mean, none of them were Lily's. None of them were Jack's.
Do you know if all those items were found at the same place, or were they found throughout?
I'm not sure where they were found. I was just told that, or any of these items, Lily and Jack's, we found them during the search.
Were they?
Now, also, I thought I'd bring it up while we're here. There's a channel. I don't remember that's a channel name. Uber Fubar is his name. Uber Fubar. And he reached out to me because he said he'd love to help us do analysis on this channel. Now, this guy did analysis for RCMP regarding Daniel and Malaya. I'd like to do that another day, but he literally did the analysis of them, and I haven't seen it, but he said he provided that analysis to them. I wonder how they looked at that, what they gathered, what all that information has to do. Why is it helping them? Is it what? Anyway, that's interesting that I had no idea that somebody did an analysis on them and provided it to RCMP. We've never heard that. He just keeps rubbing his face and tugging the shirt, right?
They photographed together?
No, they were not photographed. They were photographed individually.
Okay, so most likely then they were not found together.
Yeah.
And around what time was this blanket, the full one that didn't belong to them? When was that one found?
That was found, it would have been during the daytime. So, because I remember I was actually standing on the front deck when she brought her phone up to show me. So that would have been sometime during the day. So I'm saying between noon and 4 p.m. probably.
So 4 is when they found the pink blanket that was Lily's. That was a portion of the blanket, correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure on the exact time on that either. It would have to be after 4 because the school bus goes up there around 4 o'clock.
I don't think he released it though. That's his name on YouTube is Uber Fubar. He reached out to me and told me that law enforcement took his information where he did an analysis for them. So I don't know if it's on his channel or not, but he sent that to me and I wasn't covering the case right now when he sent it to me. So I never did anything with it. And yeah, his shirts always look like he just pulled them out of the dirty laundry and just stretched them out so he can wear them for the day, which I don't know what his deal is there.
Gotcha. And
because that school bus, it goes up and it actually goes up and turns on my Uncle Ron's house, which is about 500 feet past where the blanket was found.
Is it Uber?
Gotcha.
So, and the bus usually goes up there, and the bus usually makes its way up there around, I don't know, 3:55, between 3:55 and like 4 o'clock.
And
I mean, he has detailed information on the bus and when the children he looks like he's trying to be serious, but he says a lot, and why it doesn't mean a lot.
This bus has cameras, correct?
Yeah, the buses do have cameras. When they looked at the footage from the outside of the buses, the blanket was not there.
Interesting. And it went both directions, correct? It went.
Yeah, they both go both directions. They have multiple buses.
And it was not seen at 3:55, 4 o'clock when the bus passed.
No, they said they did not see it on any camera footage from the buses. So
that is how far is the search command from where the blanket was found?
All right, so that's Dan from the Drunk Turkey Show, and this was clipped from a different person right here, Hunter S. True Crime. So he clipped this out, and the original content, which I put both handles at Hunter True Crime and Drunk Turkey Show. All right.
From the piece of Lily's blanket that was found in the tree, the actual command center itself.
Yeah.
It is okay. When you look at Lansdowne Station Road on the map,
Uh-huh.
I'll just wait for you here to set that up, and then we can take a look.
Yeah,
I'll
I
show
got
you,
it.
give you the exact location.
So here is, do you see it?
Yeah. So that is
Now he wasn't on social media for a little while. He kind of disappeared, and then he came back, and I was hearing all these people talking about him. And when I say all these people, the shows that I subscribe to. So maybe because law enforcement isn't talking to him 3 times a week anymore, he's got to go back to the YouTube platform. All right, let's look at what
so
he's saying.
Lansdowne Station Road. As soon as you're going up Lansdowne Station Road, you go across a little bridge.
It's this direction?
Lansdowne Station.
Oh, this direction. Okay.
Yeah. So Lansdowne Station Road, there you go over a little tiny bridge.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Have I gone too far?
Yeah, it goes right on Lansdowne Station Road. There's a little bridge when you're going down, and then you see, when you're seeing right around that turn there, that's where it is. You just had it on it, right
So
past that
around
little
here.
dirt road there, that little gravel pit dirt road. Yeah.
So
Why? I'm just curious, but why would they make command so far south of where you guys live? Did they say anything about that by any chance?
I'm not sure the actual reasoning for making it there. I know it's a road that's
law enforcement. That's what I thought.
They had a long stretch going down that hill, going to the command center, so everybody could park their cars. Because there was hundreds of cars there, Daniel.
Now,
search vehicles. They had to move in, RCMP SUVs and everything, right?
so how long after law enforcement arrived at 1027 did the command post get set up? Was that like the first thing that happened?
I'm not sure. I was actually in the woods for a lot of that, Daniel. So I don't have like a clear.
I like how when he wants the attention, he's like, "Hey, Daniel, listen here. Let me get this. That's Dan from the Drunk Turkey Show, and his name's Daniel. They're both Daniel, but he's really demanding that he listens. He's like, Daniel, here it is. But what are you saying? What are you telling us? There's the home. There's where the blanket is found. So that's what we're looking at. He's giving us information about where they were set up and how far away from home. What's he saying?
Time that was set up. Clear time that I could say the setup began or was completed.
So around what time were you notified, and how were you notified about the pink blanket that belonged to Lily?
The pink blanket that belonged to Lily, I wasn't notified at all about that. I was actually told there was a piece of a pink blanket that was found up the road in a tree, and I said, "Piece of a pink blanket?" And I put 2 and 2 together. I ran out to the garbage bin, and I seen that there was a hole ripped in the bag, and clearly there was somebody who went into the garbage or something went on with the garbage for a piece of that to be ripped out. Because usually when you look in the garbage bin, Daniel, and you see a garbage bag, usually it doesn't have a hand-sized hole ripped in the side of it.
That's interesting. Now, the pink.
I love that he says that's interesting, and then on the side it's like, well, what about the rodents? What about the animals? He's not exactly a reliable character, right? Clore, that Carly, he looks like one too. You guys are laughing at him in chat. What about that bed back there?
Pink blanket. When they told you about it, did they show you a picture? The
piece of the blanket? No.
That too.
Okay, so they just told you they found a piece. And
I
you went
think
to the garbage bin, and
Yeah.
where in the garbage bin was the bag that had the other part of the blanket? Was it towards the
Okay,
top, in the middle,
there
the
was
bottom?
these were large industrial sized garbage bags, right?
Okay.
And Mom would always yell at me, don't put so much garbage in one bag, because I would always make the bags really heavy, right?
Okay.
He does look high as a kite, right? He says, did he fill and take this one out? He's not even listening to the guy. Now, pay attention to the rest of the video. Watch the guy talking or listen to the guy talking. Look at him. He's not even listening, y'all. He's answering it before he finishes. He's already got his, whatever he's going to say, scripting, whatever he's saying.
And so I had the blanket was in a garbage bag, but there was another garbage bag that was inside, right? So it was like double bagged.
Right?
Interesting.
And you could see I keep wanting to say
was that the double bagged bag that maybe he's leaking out, verbal leakage that he used to throw away the evidence? Could that be something he's reminding us of? This part scared me about the bags. Exactly. Before you even said that, I'm like, wait, what? Industrial bags for the mill? Are you telling us the evidence you threw away, what it is? What are you saying, Daniel?
a hole that was ripped in the side from a hand that went down inside of it and pulled something out, but it looked to be like somebody put their hand in there and ripped it out.
But did you do that?
The bag, the blanket was still at the bottom of the bag, right? It wasn't pulled all the way out. It wasn't anything like that. So
was the
they were
trash
throwing out
bag
blankets, right?
in the bottom of the can or on top?
So who was throwing away pieces of blankets? Who was there? Who was there the day before? Why does he keep only referring to that there was him, Malaya, and one other person? When he talked about his mom, there are 3 people that didn't do it. What about the other people that did? And how do you know it was at the bottom of the bag? Who was throwing stuff away? I mean, what? Yeah, he does. He definitely does. He's not listening to what this guy is saying either. He's just putting his narrative that he wants to talk about. Yeah. How did he know it was a hand?
Top of like all the other trash.
Look to the
was
left.
the garbage bag, that one big garbage bag, that was like a 60-pound garbage bag. And it was that was the only bag that was in there.
Oh, okay. So there wasn't
that
any
one.
other trash on top.
No, there was nothing else on pile on top of it or underneath it.
The bag.
So if somebody opened the bin, that's the first thing that they would see.
Yeah, they would be able to see the pink blanket in there. Yeah.
Okay. And so it seems like in the documents that it alludes that they showed you guys a picture and that you guys confirmed it. Was that, if you didn't see a picture, do you know if Malaya did?
I'm not sure if she did or not. I have no idea.
But you know everything else, Daniel. Why not? I don't get it. All right, hold on. Let me go back because I was doing something. All right, hold on. Go. All right, let's look here. Sounds like the full interview will be on Drunk Turkey's channel on a later date. All right, what else? All right, that's just for you guys to remember. $150,000 rewards being offered by the province of Nova Scotia. Anyone with information regarding the case, and a lot of people that are here today are local to Canada. So anyway, they've got it under major unsolved crimes, like we talked about earlier. If you have any information, 800-710-9090. We got to bring these kids home, guys. Where's Jack and Lily? I know there's people here in chat that think that the children are safely. I don't know how they could be safe when you say safely trafficked. People think they're still alive, and that's hope to have. But if they were trafficked, what did they go through? How long is somebody going to keep 2 children alive that are autistic? And the way that they describe their autism is like, it's kind of hard to handle. I don't know if somebody's going to kidnap those children and keep them around, right? They do look happy and adorable, but by the way the parents describe them, I just don't think so. I don't know how they're alive with $150,000 reward. No one will be quiet that long. Yeah, I really do not. That's one thing, is I do not think that they're alive whatsoever at all, not even a little bit. All right.
How have you been doing?
Hold on real quick.
Well, I'm not going to say I'm doing well, but
hold on.
Doing better than I.
We're not listening to that, but I want to show you something funny. Hold on. All right, here you go. Let me lower it real quick. Oh my goodness. Here's Daniel Martell. I got to show you this just because it's so funny. And then we got another clip. And then I'll let you guys, we could do a drawing for that shirt. What do you guys think about that? Here's Daniel Gerardo Rico Suave. This is old. God. Rico. Love it. All right, that's it. I can't handle anymore. There's Daniel Martell. Rico. Suave. All right, last part of the show, guys. All right, Daniel claims Lily spoke that morning. Let's listen to that. Funny. You guys remember that? Oh man, that's funny. I got that song in my head now. I had to get it out. That's what it reminds me of Daniel. Everywhere he goes, he's like, "Hey, look at me, Rico, Suave." I don't think they're live either, guys. I really don't. I value Wolfpack's opinion. Wolfpack says I'll never understand how they find certain people with the quickness, and yet kids disappear into Neverland. And two of them, Wolfpack, two that by the admission of their own parents that are autistic and you know, their communication skills aren't up to par of their age. So you remember that too? That's funny. He's still living there. All right. Yeah. Mighty Joe. All right. Those babies do need to be found, though. I've got a clip that came out like a day ago by Evil Exists. So let's talk about this just for a second.
And Jack Sullivan are still
Hit
missing,
that like
and there were
button,
no
guys.
confirmed sightings or positive leads regarding the children's whereabouts. We all have our suspicions because it is highly unlikely
was
that two
funny.
children from the same family vanished at the same time, and the people in the house have stories with inconsistencies. Definitely raises some red flags. Let's also mention how the mother moved out almost immediately and never pleaded for the children.
Yeah, guys. So you guys that are here know, I mean, why would you ever do that? Why would you that like almost within the day of your children going missing? Now I can speculate that her and Daniel had some contention between them. And when you're a mathematician, when you're in a relationship and you guys are mathematicians and you're not sleeping and you've got young children and you're partying, that you're gonna butt heads, right? But I mean, she painted the picture of Daniel as if he were a major aggressor, like he abused her. All right. So if he abused her, then he abused the children too, right? Or no? All right. What's up, Daisy Duke? Good to see you. Yeah, fleeing abuse. Chance. That's the only thing I could really think of is that. All right. But I bet if you give me 5 minutes with Daniel, I'll have him chirping like a bird. I would love to hear that, Chief. Love your show. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. All right, let's listen to this part because it's all important and true to remember, because we're not going to visit the case until, well, there's more to visit here, but until more information comes out, there's nothing to cover.
Children's safe return. So what does she really think happened to them? If she truly believed they were taken, then why no pleading for their safe return or offering a reward? Just silence from her. The stepfather, Daniel, has been very vocal on social media. He talks and talks and talks, and tries to answer people's questions on Facebook. Whether that is doing him any favors, I don't know.
It's not.
At first, it was said that they just heard the children in the other room. That version slowly changed to Lily popping her head in and out of the parents' room. That version seems to have changed again, as someone asked Daniel on Facebook whether Lily said anything that morning. He replied saying, not the first time, but the second time, yes. I went over these times as I said in my head over and over, trying to find details or clues.
All right, so this is what I love being able to see here are the text messages from Daniel Martell. Did Lily say anything? Not the first time, but the second time. I went over those times, as I said, in my head over and over, trying to find details or clues. Susan, she either said hi, Dad, or hello. Yeah, so this is Daniel Martell talking about Lily's last words, but he's changed his mind several times. And the more that I feel like that he talks to social media and gets in the mix, things tend to change. I don't know if law enforcement's taking a look at that, or they've behind the scenes maybe with around each other ruled him out. I don't know. All right, guys, we're getting closer to the end. I'll ask you guys, we can finish this clip, and there's one more piece of information I can say for another day or not. Have you guys seen anything about the Daniel Martell's burner phone, where people are looking at it and they have little baggies, people are saying are mathematician tools, so to speak? Anyone seen anything about the burner phone? All right, let me know if you're still here, if you guys still want to hang out for another 20 minutes or so, or you're ready to go. We got more information. If not, I can save it for another day. All right.
Help. She said hi, Dad, or hello, Dad.
Put a
I
one
remember
if you.
before I thought she didn't say anything, but time passes and everything becomes clear. Mission becomes clear, evidence builds, leads are followed up on, and time continues to tick for the individuals involved, but the batteries in the watch only last so long. This is very interesting. The amount of changes Daniel Martell has
Thank
had in
you.
his stories is definitely concerning.
I know,
We
that's
never heard
why
anything about Lily
I know.
speaking to anyone that morning, but now apparently she did say hi, Dad, or hello, Dad. It's difficult to know what to believe these days. Who is telling the truth and
I mean, that is a big deal, though, guys. That is a huge deal. If one of your children went missing and I heard you telling stories about, or let's say Jen Soto, let's go to Jen Soto. We did this, we did that. And then it completely changes to, yeah, I never seen her. And then other different various versions of the story. Are you believing that? And yes, it's not actually the burner phone, but it's the big thing that's going around the internet of Daniel's burner phone, and it's got mathematician tools in it. So let me know. If hit 1 in chat if you want to talk about that. 2 if you're just done. All right, Linda, I'll leave that up for a minute. All right.
which version is the truth? What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts down below.
All right. Yeah, never a good idea to interject yourself into a case that that you may be part of, right? All right, hold on. We're gonna debunk this. It bothered me a lot yesterday. It bothered me a lot watching this on different channels talk about things that just weren't so. So that's why I wanted to go over this again. It's coming from Drunk Turkey, but it originates from a criming shame. And this is the burner phone. The truth about the burner phone. That's not really a burner phone. It looks like you guys want to stay here. So let me put that up. Dang it, my computer's being wonky. I never like to leave the screen like that. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the truth about the burner phone. People are zooming in on this little piece right here and saying, oh, that's his baggie. You can see the D rugs in it. And I mean, all this stuff's just going around that's just not true. All right. And it's not going to help with the case. Potato doesn't even remember what Maddie was wearing. Yeah, that's because I believe she does know, or she did know what Maddie was wearing, but she remembers several versions of what Maddie was wearing. All right. So if you haven't heard about this burner phone deal, let's listen.
For talking about the content and bringing out an awareness to Jack and Lily and to their disappearance.
And thank you,
and
Barbie
on
G.
there, they brought up an interesting point that was going on. Pretty much
Thank you.
Big sense of contention is that Daniel apparently was doing drugs at some point, and that some of Malaya's family members took a photo of some items that were left on a water heater that was inside of the bathroom after Daniel had left, and
Well, that's why I'm using Drunk Turkey Show, Tammy, because I'm debunking the nonsense that I saw online. I saw people zooming in and showing little pieces on there saying, look, that's the crystal or whatever you call that. That's the ice. They're zooming in on the bag and we're debunking that right now, Tammy. That's what we're doing. So people know that whatever you saw about that is more than likely not true.
Indicated that this was some sort of either burner phone alongside with some drugs. And well, we wanted to break that down and look at those things and see, is that actually what's going on? I've contacted Daniel. He's reached out to me, told me what it was. He's actually recreated the photo with another item, and I'll let you guys be the deciding factors. But without further ado, let's break it down. Let's look at it. Let's look into it. So
don't forget, guys, drop your comments, hit the like button. I'm going to grab that little spinner above. I'm going to spin that little spinner and give somebody this. I'll ship it out to you guys next week, whoever wins this, all right? This is the Guilty of Crime crew right there. That's our cute version of us, right? The little cutesy stuff, not the bloody, gory stuff, all right? That's me with the shades, the Leo with the shades, and then you see everybody else. There's Foxy, there's Tiff, there's Carly, there's, I don't know. Who's the sloth? I don't remember. All right. I should be a sloth and a lion at the same time. All right, you guys decide.
This is Daniel's water heater, and the first thing that you want to notice is you have what appears to be some sort of
that's you. Okay.
Board,
That's
like a microchip board.
Oh, that's
you
you?
have I know some folks were looking at this and trying
the
to say that
sloth.
this was some sort of baggie. That's not a baggie. As you can see, look right here, the metallic color on the microchip board compared to this. This is, I believe, a battery for what this is, and is a plasma lighter. Now, look right here at the tips. They seem pretty burnt, right?
Yeah, this is why I wanted to do that, because they were drawing pictures and showing that there was ice and whatever. And I'm fine. I'm sure that he does have that stuff. I'm sure that they do whatever it is that they do, but I just don't like false information. It bothers me. I'm like, killing me. You gotta, debunk the junk.
And that's actually, like I said, that's a battery, and it's bent in certain ways. And I got some pictures of it as well.
I know.
But that goes to this item here. This is not a phone. This is too small for one instance. Look at the size of that fitting there for the water heater. Go check out yours.
Now, people are speculating it's a burner phone, but I want you to remember at the beginning of this episode, in case you forgot, we talked about information, or I'm sorry, not information, items that were recovered by RCMP. All right. They did recover all of their cell phones, all of their electronics, all of their, literally bank records, phone records, surveillance footage. All right. So I want you to realize that they did do that already. And whether Daniel's involved or not, there's not some burner phone that has, mathematician products inside of it. Are you out of here, Foxy? Have a good night. If so.
If you want to kind of get an idea of how small this is, and it's a very small item. There's some springs associated with it, and what I want you to take notice is this here. Look, this is one of the things, and Daniel takes these apart for whatever reason. He likes to take things apart, put them back together. A lot of things electrical.
Why do you think Daniel likes to take things apart, y'all?
And things of that nature. I know a lot of people look at him and say maybe perhaps they question his intelligence and things of that nature, but this guy's he's not stupid.
He's not stupid at all.
Yeah.
We have another soda.
But look at as you can see, so remember when I was pointing out the burnt end at the top? That's what I think that's from. So let me remove this from the screen. See the burnt end there? And this is him recreating it. So you got the burnt end. And then the recreation. There's the fitting. There's the chip. He didn't take it apart, obviously. And there's the battery with the spring that goes along with the with this here. Now, this battery here has some film over it. This is with it together with the spring. I'm not sure where the spring goes, but the spring goes somewhere in there. The other side of the battery. And as I could say, when you look at it, it's obvious that this isn't a baggie full of something. This is appears to be, it's the same color as this metallic stuff that's on the chip here. To me, it's the same. If you imagine removing this plastic portion of this battery out of this plastic area, and it's,
I think he works. Doesn't he do? Isn't his work based on the weather, y'all? Like, doesn't he do like some kind of construction or some kind of? I know he doesn't work all the time. Oh, there you go. Daniel works at a sawmill. Thank you. And that's probably dependent on the weather, right? All right, let's keep going.
It's probably what you're going to be looking at there. And this is a box full of stuff that Daniel keeps that are full of electronics and things of that nature. In fact, let me pull up another video that I have of all the stuff that he has. It's pretty wild.
Let's look at. I don't care about watching him do that.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
To Janie as well. And
honestly, guys, this is what I think of when you think of like tweaker stuff, right? When you go to someone's house and they're going a million miles an hour, that's the kind of stuff that I see. And I've seen people that work on electronics versus working on electronics, and it's much different. All right. And you know what? I did not even realize that I have a pile of these things. I have a pile of different Guilty of Crime shirts. So that particular one, I didn't realize was a birthday present. So I'm not going to give that one away. but I have a bunch of guilty of crime t-shirts, and I'll give you guys a guilty of crime t-shirt. I don't want to give away a birthday present that I got. I didn't even realize it, because if I had a camera right now and I went like this, there's a pile of guilty of crime stuff, and I feel guilty for having a pile of stuff and you guys not having any guilty of crime merch. So that being said, today I'll spin for a guilty of crime shirt, and this is one I think you can buy. You got to ask Tiff in chat. I'm pretty sure that we sell those designs online, but I'm not going to give that one away because I did not realize that it was a birthday present, because I have a stack of birthday presents still there. So, all right. Which one's synth? The ones with the cookies? I think we sell these online. We're not there yet. I will. All right. But I got a bunch of guilty of crime stuff, and I feel bad that I have a bunch of extra and you guys, some of you guys don't have any of it. All right. So let's keep going.
And she kind of mentioned that he takes things apart, puts them back together. This is, what he does with electronical stuff, a little bit of a keeps everything kind of deal. But there you go. I mean, this is all his electronic stuff that he's taken apart and put together over the
Hey,
years.
Colleen.
And so that's kind of what we were looking at. In my opinion, is it drugs? No, I don't think so. Is it a burner phone? I think that's what some people were trying to indicate, that it may have been a burner phone. I don't think that's going to be the case either. I don't think it's a burner phone. I strongly.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, he just showed us a pile of electronics, and it makes sense that somebody that's into being a mathematician that will literally have a box of electronics and tinker and take stuff apart and never finish it. I'd prefer a box of beer. Hey, I don't even drink beer, and I would prefer a box of beer over a box of junk. He's so full of himself, he has to keep saying his own name and referring to the other guy. I know, right? Connecticut needs a guilty of crime shirt. Yes, you do. Everybody needs a guilty of crime shirt or merch or something. I get it. The stuff meth hearts do, tear it apart and never put it back together. Exactly. Yes, I wasn't born yesterday. I know I might not look 46 years old, but I assure you I wasn't born yesterday. All right, Daisy Duke.
Burn marks at the top, the little pointed area. This is where you would have the top part of the chip and such on. So let me know in the comment section. What do you guys think? Do you think there's more to this? Do you think that it's actually something more nefarious? I tend to not believe that this is something more nefarious. I get what the optics look like. And it's unfortunate that the image details of this image is the quality is so degraded and pixelated. It almost makes this look like a baggie. I mean, at first
it does, but it sucks that we have to use content like that to try to make a case on YouTube. That's the kind of stuff I don't like, and that's fine. Everybody has their own thing. Everybody has channels where they like to speculate, and we'll speculate a little here, but I really try to stick with what the facts are and then not go too far outside of those facts. So when I saw this, it was killing me, man. I wanted to stream my show right then and there and say, guys, look at this. Now look again. All right. Anybody can make anything look like anything they want to. All right. Kathleen says, you look younger than 46. Well, I am. Some people think that I was born yesterday. However, Dale, I'm 57 and I look like it. Oh, I love you, Dale. Kathleen, 58. 8 squirrel bridges. They have a lot of squirrel traffic. Thank you, Deborah. As long as you guys know I wasn't born yesterday, all right? And yes, I like to stick to the truth. I do not like conspiracy theory nuts. I'm sorry. 71. Woo, woo. You go, Linda.
Initial thought, I thought that's what it was too. So I don't blame anybody for looking at this and saying, oh my God, there's a bag of some sort of substance there.
I don't blame them, but
I completely understand why people would think that. I'm just glad that instead of jumping to a conclusion,
yes,
we would just reach out to Daniel and ask him, and if his response was something that was maybe not believable, then we'd have to cross that bridge when we got there. But this clearly looks like it's the same thing.
Yeah, and that's all. It was just driving me nuts, guys, that I was watching this and seeing it on their channels, and they're zooming in and showing these things. And I'm like, this, say it ain't so. So thank you, Drunk Turkey Show, Daniel. He obviously has connections with Daniel Martell that he can just reach out and ask him. So we like that. Thank you. You guys go sign up for Drunk Turkey Show. He's been covering a lot of this stuff. He covers a much different things than I do, which I like. I like that. All right. We're gonna spin the wheel, guys. Get your last like up. Get your last comment. All right. Get your last comments. Get your last memberships. You got to be a member. All right. And you've got to just make sure that you are in the United States, because I'm not shipping out of the United States. All right. All of a sudden, different pop up on another case. What's up with this? Well, we're not on a Jen Soto case. What do you mean? We're not on any of that. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You hate watching videos about Jen, then all of a sudden we'll go off on a different. We're not watching Jen Soto right now, Ruth. Maybe you clicked on the wrong video. All right, a discount. I don't know if we have AARP discounts, but you can ask Tiff. She's got a 10% off discount. Mighty Joe became a YouTube member. Thank you. And Julie says, I love a shirt. All right, last comment. Yeah, I think someone just found themselves on the wrong channel, huh? I hate when I'm watching Jen Soto videos and all of a sudden you start talking about Jack and Lily's disappearance. Why? All right. All right, let's go. Wheel time. Come on, Will. We're doing it. Oh, man. I'm in a goofy mood. I'm actually really tired. All right, I'm getting that spinning wheel. Sometimes it just makes me log in. So let me get that, and I'll put you on up there, guys. All right. Here we go. Move that over. And all right, guys. You got to be in the United States, and you got to be green. Vanessa says, hashtag Jay wearing clothes today. Yeah, you're on the wrong episode. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. Me, come on, woo. All right, let's go. You know the drill. Here's a countdown, y'all. And go. All right, there's our little counter, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Now, this one you guys actually will email me directly for guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. Oh, my goodness. Mighty Joe got lucky. Mighty Joe just became a member, and Mighty Joe is in chat. So, Mighty Joe, as long as you're in the United States, and you're going to get a Guilty of Crime shirt, and you'll be thankful that it's, I think you might be thankful that it's more of the J style with the bloody logo, etc. So congratulations to Mighty Joe. And he's never won anything on our channel, not yet. So thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. You also got yourself a membership exactly at the right time. That was awesome. By j@gmail.com. So congratulations to you, Mighty Joe. You did it at the right time. And if you email me, Mighty Joe, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com, send me your information so that I can ship you out a Guilty of Crime t-shirt. All right. So congratulations. There you go. Everybody else, thank you guys for being here for 2 hours and 8 minutes. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I also didn't want to leave off and not cover this for you because there's a lot of stuff going on, although we haven't found the children. I hope that behind the scenes, guys, that RCMP is getting closer to something with all of the analysis that they've done, forensic polygraphs, and a lot of other things that's going on. So congratulations, Mighty Joe. guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. And yes, I am dressed today. It's not as hot in California, guys. That's why. All right, my shirt's a little wonky, but it's not hot today. It's not as hot as it was, so we're all good. All right, guys, I'll let you guys know tomorrow if we're going to be on earlier. And if we are, I'll make sure you guys get the notification. If we are on earlier, it's going to be like 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 and then 5 o'clock Eastern. All right. Thank you guys. Love you guys. And I love when someone likes the channel that I haven't seen. So thank you. Good night, everybody. Mwah.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?